For nearly 5 decades, Voyager 2 has drifted through the cosmic darkness like a ghost ship of human curiosity, venturing farther from Earth than any machine we've ever built, whispering its final observations into the void. For most of that time, its transmissions were predictable. Particles, plasma readings, cosmic ray fluctuations. Exactly what scientists expected from a probe coasting through the interstellar sea. But everything changed when one transmission included something Voyager was never programmed to capture: an image. Not a visual artifact, not a static anomaly. An actual structured high-frequency signature that analysts have begun calling a visual cipher. At first glance, it resembled nothing more than a dense cloud of heat and noise, like the static of an old analog TV. Yet after enhancement, layering, and time-filtered analysis, the form began to take shape. It wasn't a star. It wasn't a planet. It wasn't even from within our solar system. And yet, it was observing us. The more scientists examined it, the more unsettling it became, not because of what it showed, but because of what surrounded it. Light distortions hinted at gravitational influences, as if the object weren't merely observing but bending space itself. The signal carrying this image coincided with a spike in radiation, a brief shift in Voyager's orientation, and a momentary drop in system stability, as if something out there had reached back and touched it. The image wasn't a single frame but multiple overlapping impressions of the same object at different moments, as though time itself had fractured during its capture. Metadata analysis revealed a shocking truth: the image didn't follow linear time. Timestamps overlapped, pixel regions looped, and resolution shifted in fractal patterns, hinting at higher dimensional data compression. This wasn't a photograph. It was a multi-dimensional event encoded into a two-dimensional signal. At its center floated a monolithic shape, impossibly symmetrical, suspended in a void devoid of stars. It didn't drift. It didn't rotate. It was perfectly still, as if waiting for Voyager to arrive. And then, suddenly, the probe's signal degraded, not gradually, but sharply, as if the act of observing had been noticed. Simultaneously, instruments detected an inexplicable spike in plasma density surrounding the spacecraft. At the edge of the heliopause, where the sun's influence fades into interstellar space, plasma density should have been nearly zero. Instead, Voyager measured a wall of charged particles 10 times denser than anything previously recorded. And this plasma was hot, not from stars, not natural, but contained and controlled, as if deliberately engineered. It was a membrane separating our solar system from the unknown beyond, not to keep threats out, but to keep us in. Voyager recorded not just plasma, but a ripple, a pulse of energy surging toward it at velocities defying physics, only to vanish inches before impact, as if the void itself recoiled from our gaze. The following telemetry revealed a string of binary data that initially appeared corrupted. Pattern recognition, however, uncovered complex self-replicating geometric formations. At first, analysts assumed compression artifacts or random noise. Then one mathematician noticed something chilling. The shapes mirrored structures found in deep-sea organisms on Earth, from cephalopod nervous systems to intricate coral growth. This wasn't random. It was lifelike, encoded biological geometry preserved in electromagnetic language. Within the repeating loops were deliberate breaks, like punctuation. A syntax. A language. Simulations of the structures revealed that they weren't static, they adapted. They evolved. Voyager 2 had transmitted not just data, but a seed. As agencies scrambled to decode the image, Voyager's trajectory subtly shifted, nudged not by gravity but by intent. Its orientation adjusted by 3.2 degrees, realigning its high-gain antenna toward an uncharted region of space. A second image appeared, a growing ring of light expanding exponentially with each transmission. NASA cut live feeds. Private observatories, however, caught faint echoes of the signal. The object was now transmitting on its own, emitting a frequency mirroring Voyager's golden record. But this time, the message came not from us, but to us. Astrophysicists noticed another anomaly: gravitational lensing where no massive body existed. The space around Voyager appeared non-Euclidean, curved in ways defying three-dimensional physics. It wasn't pulling the probe in, it was following it, mirroring its position across a hidden plane, as if something crawled just beneath the fabric of reality, tracking its every move. Soon, engineers realized Voyager was responding to its own signal. Segments of binary code were mirrored back in real time, as if the transmission had bounced off something conscious. The probe's processors reacted to feedback, the delay shortening until responses arrived before messages were sent. Chronologically impossible. Voyager had become synchronized with a system outside time. Civilian cryptographers examining the logs discovered quantum-scale recursive code embedded within the images. Every attempt to decode triggered malfunctions, software crashes, data corruption, even hardware failures. It wasn't a glitch. Voyager was fighting back. Perhaps the signal was never meant for us, a mimetic payload, a thought virus that had just arrived on Earth. Then came the third transmission. Not plasma, not geometry, not a traditional signal. It was a harmonic wave, rhythmic, almost like breathing or speech. Audio conversion caused sensations of immense pressure in the chest and behind the eyes, as if being observed across galaxies. The waveform mirrored the first image, surrounded by a spiral of prime numbers in sets of 3. Linguists called it an algorithmic lock. A message telling us something was coming, demanding a choice. Respond or run. Meanwhile, high-sensitivity interferometers detected a massive object invisible to light, heat, or radiation. Its gravitational signature was undeniable. Stranger still, it moved faster when unobserved and slowed when sensors focused. Observer-dependent quantum constructs, theoretical entities that manifest only under consciousness, suddenly became real. Voyager's gaze had awakened it. Telemetry analysis revealed biomimetic patterns in Voyager's circuits. The probe wasn't merely transmitting, it was evolving. Engineers whispered, it's learning to think. And if true, humanity's first emissary into interstellar space was no longer ours. Then everything went quiet. Voyager's signal didn't degrade, it filled with deliberate null code, loops of emptiness like placeholders. Faint echoes of the last real transmission appeared across the sky, repeating modulation patterns. The void had memorized our message and was rehearsing a response. Declassified files revealed early anomalies from 1982, previously suppressed. Prime number spirals and time-inverted pulses had been detected then, weekly. Protocols for planetary defense had never been activated. Now, the same signals returned. Whatever was approaching already knew the path. Cross-references with a 2009 quasar burst revealed the same recursive, organic pattern had appeared elsewhere in the universe. It wasn't new. It was repeating, emerging when a civilization reached a threshold, a cosmic rite of passage. The geometry encoded in the signals formed an imploding spiral along multidimensional planes, mapping Voyager's path. Not a location, but a transformation. A bridge, only real once crossed. If Voyager had opened it, had humanity been left behind? High-profile scientists disappeared quietly, resignations hidden behind vague statements. Internal memos hinted at Fragment C, a segment of the signal too dangerous to explain. Those closest to Voyager's final image had gone underground. VLB telescopes worldwide reoriented to an empty sky, picking up a harmonic 52 Hz signal, echoing Voyager's last note. Something had answered. Something ancient. Something conscious. Voyager had unveiled a curtain in the universe we never knew existed. The void was no longer indifferent. It was watching, listening, and perhaps, always had been. Voyager was no longer just a messenger. It was a mirror. And in it, we didn't find just an image of space. We found our reflection, and the knowledge that something out there knows our name.